Hey, my name is Sev. I'm literally nobody in the filmmaking world, but still, today I'm going to give you my honest opinion and review a famous color grading tool that's called Dehancer. Yeah, that's it. I've been learning color grading on my own for the past 2 years, which does not make me an expert actually, so I might be saying things that are not accurate or even correct at all, but that's okay, bear with me, it's the magic of learning, and let's just not waste any more time and get into it. Alright, so we are here in DaVinci Resolve, which is the software that I am using to color grade my videos, and this is what a note tree that I usually use looks like. As you can see, I'm using Dehancer in it as an additional tool because I think Dehancer is an amazing thing to emulate film, actually. That's beautiful to me. I really love this color grade. That's crazy, but that's a lot of node, and today what I would like to do is try to let me grab a still before. Try to go from 0 and only use Dehancer to make this shot look like this. Let's try it out. So, first things first, that's hard to say. Let's grab Dehancer in the effects menu and drag and drop it here. It looks disgusting, that's okay, that's logical, because we did not set anything correctly. First of all, I'm shooting on the Sony a7S III, so I'm going to choose my camera profile, of course. Choose camera, Sony, you know what, I'm going to skip all those boring things. Alright, we are done. The Alpha 7S III is my camera, and this is the color profile I'm shooting with. Here are a few tools that you can use to actually balance your shot. I know everybody will tell you this if you are watching color grading videos, but the most important part is to expose and white balance your footage correctly when you are shooting it. Alright, so we are getting in the interesting things, being the actual film emulation. And first of all, you've got to choose your film profile. And fun fact, I was on the phone with my father yesterday, and he used to shoot with analog film when he was younger. He actually was more a photographer than a filmmaker. But he told me one of his favorite film at that time was the Kodak Kodachrome 64. So I'm going to try it and see how it goes. It's disgusting, and that's okay. That's logical because it is just the film being applied and no other settings being touched. So we are definitely going to make this look better. Look at this film developer, and let's just enable it right now and let's play a little bit with those settings. So as you can see, you can boost the contrast, adjust the gamma, being the midtones of your footage. Does not do really much here, but what is interesting here might be the color boost, because if we are pushing this, then we are starting to get real colors and not just this bleached red weird looking. So let's just give a bit of color boost, add in a little bit of contrast, and maybe, yeah, reduce our gamma a bit, and that's fine to me. Let's just keep going and see how it goes. Next up, we have film compression. This is supposed to emulate how analog film usually compresses light. It is less likely that you will clip a shot with analog film, I guess. Maybe I'm wrong, but see what it does to the sky. That's before and after. It crushes a bit the highlights. As you can see on the scope here, when I enable it, then it goes down. And what you can see here also is that my footage looks really red. and it looks indeed red. So now I can maybe adjust a bit of the white balance I had and make it look a little less red. I'm really not used to white balance my shots like this. That's something I would do with other tools in my primaries, but let's play the game and use the enhancer only. All right, now I think this is a little bit more balanced, and let's just keep going. I know this looks disgusting for now. This will look better soon. Next up, we have the expand menu, which allows you to play with the black and white points, which basically will act like contrast. And I think we're good for now. So let's just get to the print menu, which seems pretty interesting. Let's enable it and see what I can do. What I can do here is actually, that's a hell of a clap, is actually print the film I'm using, which is the Kodak Edelchrome. And now I've never developed any analog film in my life, so I may be saying stupid things, but that's really the process where you will print your rush actually onto a film that you can display on screens or whatever. That might be totally wrong, I don't know, but I pretty much know how it works on DaVinci Resolve, which is the most important part for me, at least. There is this usual Kodak 2383 print that everybody will use on DaVinci Resolve, which I think looks great. Let's see before and after. This looks more like film. Before it was looking a bit flat, and now it takes more sense. But still, it might be a bit nuclear. That's too much. So let's just adjust a few things. All right. This looks already better, in my opinion, but it still does not look quite natural, in my opinion. So let's just move on. That is an interesting tool here. You have the shadows tone, which actually shifts the tone of the shadows, which is the name of this tool, but look at what it's doing. If I'm pushing towards the blue, then the shadows will look bluish, which is disgusting actually. So the purpose of this tool is to balance your shadows and make them look as black as they should. Same for the midtones. You can make them look blue or more yellowish. I like a little bit of yellow look, and same for the highlights. Yeah, right there is good. So that was before, and this is now. Okay, this looks way better. This looked actually blue. Look at this, it's bluish, disgusting. And now it looks more balanced. I like this, I'm starting to like it. Next up, we have what I think is my favorite feature on the enhancer, being the film grain, halation, and bloom. Those are, they have presets that are pretty good actually, if you are a bit lazy or don't really know how to use custom grain, halation, and bloom. But what I really love here is the custom menu, where you can literally adjust everything. The grain size, the amount of grain you have, the film resolution, whether you have more or less grain in the shadows, midtone, highlights, and whether your grain is going to have a little bit of chroma, that means colored grains, or it's pure black and white grain. I love pure black and white grain. I don't really like having little dots of colors in my image. So yeah, I'm going for this chroma 0, and now I can adjust my grain. So we can't really see much because I did not enable my grain. I'm a stupid guy. Bam! This looks more grainy indeed. That's way too much. Let's bring the size a bit down, the amount. a bit down, and let's now adjust whether we want it in the shadows, midtones or highlights. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I like this. Now let's move on to the halation. I wouldn't know how to correctly explain what halation is. Let me just show you how it looks if I'm going hard on the settings. All right, yeah, you see this red light? This is usually halation, but it is larger than just this red light. It's basically enhancing how good and milky and soft look the highlights. Once again, this precise tool on the Enhancer is amazing. The basic halation setting on DaVinci is pretty lame and weak compared to what they did on the Enhancer. So yeah, huge win for the Enhancer on this one. Now let me just do my things with the settings and show you the results after. All right, let's check before and after. So this is before and this is after. So as you can see, you've got a slight little red light coming just above the highlights, and I really love the effect it gives on the mountains at the horizon here. It's really good. But one thing that makes halation even better is bloom. And bloom is almost like halation, but it's just like leaking light around the highlights. So let me just show you what it does. Look at the river. Yeah, it's really giving that highlights around the highlights. Super precise explanations. That's okay. Once again, you can custom it and be more precise with how you want it to be. So I'm just going to have fun playing with those settings and see what it does in the end. Anyway, this is what it looked before. No, before. And this is what it looks now. Before, now. So as I told you before, this really gives this dreamy look around the highlight, and I think it gives more sense to the highlighting as well. All right, I think we are almost done, because what we have next is really, if you want to emulate film with like damage, you have film damage here that you can enable, so you will have little dust and hair on your footage, a little bit of jittering, and a lot of different things like film breath, gate weave that will make your shot a bit not so stabilized. You can also have overscan, which will give you this pretty fancy film, analog film scan. I don't actually have the right vocabulary to explain myself here, but still there is one last thing that I really like about the Enhancer, which is the vignette, because on DaVinci Resolve you also have a vignette effect tool, which is not the best in my opinion. I think the Enhancer one is more adjustable. So let me just show you how it will affect this specific shot. All right, so this is before and this is after. Specifically on this shot, I think it's pretty important to have a good vignette, because the attention point actually is in the center of the image. So having this vignette wrapping your image like this really makes your eyes go towards the interest points. So yeah, I think this vignette looks good. Maybe it could be a bit better if I adjusted it in a more precise way, but I'm quite happy with the results. All right, I think we are done here. We did a pretty good job with the one node, the Enhancer. This is what the shot looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. That's a pretty good job with just one node. Good job, Dehancer. Great tool. It really looks filmy, in my opinion. Maybe people will say this is so digital. Yeah, maybe. But I actually like the look of it. And I wanted just to compare it with what I did with my huge Note 3 before. And so let's just grab this. Okay, so this is what I did before, and this is what we did with Dehancer. In my opinion, both are good. This one looks a bit more digital, and the Dehancer one a little bit more stylized and dreamy. But yeah, both are good. Dehancer actually is a big win. You can do a lot of things with it. All right, folks, that is it for today. Overall opinion, Dehancer is a great tool. It's super fun to use. Maybe you'll need a bit of experience to understand every little settings that you can use. But overall, yeah, I really like it. Really like the look it gives, even with just one node. That's pretty crazy. So you can go ahead and download it in the description. Obviously, it's not free. That's how the world goes, I guess. But you can use my code SVS10 for 10% discount. And yeah, that is it for today. Thanks for watching and see you. Bye.